Hey, this your boy Jay. This your boy DJ Cool. Come back with another video. Boy Jay Cooley. Come back with another video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Get this thumbs up. Don't get subscribed. Hit that bell. They get that video $1 million like. Thumbs up. Before we get in the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell. You get all the notifications go straight to you. Holla at your boy. It's your boy Jonathan.
We out here. Vegas Strip off-road Alice in SEMA by itself. Try to get him out to have a little fun. He ain't doing nothing but wasting his breath. Pull up game amazing. Car game crazy. Hey, okay. What up, man? Hey. They already started. They talking and going crazy, man. They going crazy. Stunner. The Stunner Mobile, look. Versace. Hey. That's the gang. The gang. Chris. Too Cool Chris. Check him out, y'all. I'm rolling. It is cold out here, guys. Even with these hoodies we bought, it's cold outside. Rail still back there talking to himself.
What you talking about, Luis?
We out. Nobody really out right now. Look at him, I'd race him if I was on the sidewalk with him. I see you. All that blowing, man. Get your ass whooped. How about that? Get your ass beat up. What that rear view looking like? 32 game. What you doing back there? Mama back here in last place. She chilling. I think she riding in one. You riding in one?
What?
What's your gear in right there? 2 or 1?
2. I'm riding it 2.
Alright. Buddy right here want to get beat up. For real, he do. For real.
See what's going on? Hey man, no.
Whole lot of gang.
On the other side, you know what I'm saying? We had accidents.
He scraped his wheels up already.
No, I ain't do it, but you know, we got it on film that I ain't do it.
We got one crashing in the walls. He's scraping his wheels up. We up here.
Yeah, we at our crib.
We at state crib, you know what I'm talking about.
Don't mind the mess. We got in and got straight to it.
It's a bunch of guys in one room, man. Y'all already know how that goes, man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We just get it cracking. It feel like a mother. I'm excited in here. It's like real good.
Man, it's
fresh
starting to
man.
man, burning
Check
up
it out.
hell right now.
Little dirty guys, clean it up, you know what I'm saying? What you guys think?
Man, don't say that. That's all Crisco.
Oh, this is nice though. Got the stainless steel. Oh, look at the bedrooms. Ooh, the bed's nice too. They outside view. They got a vape shop across the street. It's nice and warm. Let me see. They got another little bed up in here, man. Pretty much it, like a little apartment. You use an edible on my vlog? No.
Something to drink?
Check him out, gang. Ready for the night. So turn up. So you did this too far off the script for me.
Hey, we got a luxury right here.
Yeah, this ain't no luxury. This ain't no luxury.
Hey, you see the mirror, you know what I'm saying? Anything you walk up to, you can see yourself.
This ain't no luxury. Y'all know how our room is. Light it up here, you know what I'm saying? Man, we be there chilling.
How they know how your room was?
Cause they been in my room.
Shit.
Now, they got dressed. Yeah. What she talking about? She said she been all on the bed all That's all. She was showing them red bottles. So if y'all watch the video, y'all know.
Yes, we showing them off.
Don't be trying to make no relationship on YouTube.
Yeah, you know how they do.
Yeah.
Y'all know how it go, man.
It's nice and warm in here.
They got a full channel on there for y'all, so make sure y'all go subscribe to our channel. Tell them again.
It's Justine's World. Go ahead and check me out. Both of them.
It's CJ on 32. Make sure you check me out.
Yeah, go check it out.
You most certainly are not. I mean, right? Isn't that an axiom?
What it do, gang? It's your boy CJ on 32. I am at Walmart. We out in the massive monster right here. The Bumblebee.
This is our first compliment on the car together, and I was able to show the lady the person that actually put the car. It's the first time I've been able to do that.
Look how icy it is, though.
Ice trader gang, ice trader gang, ice trader gang.
At nighttime.
Back to the original topic. There's no question. This is a complaint that not just Rex Tillerson has had, but other staffers as well. That it's hard to get the president to focus. It's hard to get him to pay attention, put in the time needed on his briefing materials to prepare for these trips. He puts off preparing for these overseas trips, usually to the last minute, often on the plane going over there. And whether it was Putin or his first meeting with Xi Jinping in Beijing, aides afterwards said that he felt like that he was definitely playing the shorter hand in the exchange with the other leader, while President Xi or Putin seemed much more prepared in sort of driving the narrative of the conversation.
Because they had to be. Remember Trump's own description of how he ran the Trump organization, which is he didn't plan ahead. He just woke up, went to the office, and whatever came up, he just kind of dealt with it. You cannot be president of the United States successfully that way. You were there.
Can I just ask, so I want to get into this Tillerson reporting because it's great, but are we dancing around something? We came on the air with Nancy Pelosi praying for him. We cut to, because in our hour, talking about an erratic presidency, the president calling her crazy. We then broke in with the president describing himself as stable. We're now going back to a story about his own Secretary of State who traveled the world over, who talks about how unprepared he was. Carol Lee and your team have reported on what some of the military and diplomatic cabinet officials thought of him privately. But it's not normal to not be able to pay attention to your military leaders when you're the country's commander-in-chief. This is from that Washington Post report. Shortly after becoming commander-in-chief, President Trump asked so few questions in a briefing at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, that top military commanders cut the number of prepared PowerPoint slides to 3. They had planned 18, said 2 officials with knowledge of the visit. The commander said it slotted 2 hours for the meeting, but it lasted less than 1. I've been to briefings in the tank. I've been to briefings at Air Force bases. There's not fluff. The military commanders don't make 18 slides of stuff you should know. They make stuff you need to know.
This is entirely consistent with everything that we've learned about this president over the past 2 years. Though Rex Tillerson is just adding one more vignette to this broader picture that we've known for 2 years now. You know this, Nicole, that he doesn't read his daily brief because he can't, it's not digestible. That his aides know this, that they break things down into 1 or 2 sentences, and that this is why fundamentally he's not able to, for instance, sit down and cut a deal, even though that was his entire image, because he's not patient enough to get into the weeds of a deal on immigration or into the weeds of a deal on infrastructure. That his art of the deal really is all about force of personality, and we see that play out in his dealings with Congress, and we see that play out on the international stage. It's no surprise he got played by Putin, because the whole narrative when he was meeting with Kim Jong-un was that we got horribly played in a way that no previous president has ever gotten played by the North Koreans in terms of granting Kim Jong-un a face-to-face meeting with an American president. That's because his art of the deal really is just get me in there, just get me across the table from somebody. I don't need to prepare. I don't need to know anything about the substance. It's just the force of my personality and my...
And what has it delivered so far?
That's the problem. Well, so he has delivered grandly in terms of the Republican donor agenda. I mean, they've gotten everything. They've gotten deregulation, tax cuts, judges, and that's the problem, though, is Trump's populist agenda is
that's not deal making with any adversary.
Right.
When it comes to that, that's when he consistently falls short.
But here are all the people he's attacked who worked for him. I mean, Rex Tillerson, I think, is interesting because he's one of many. These are all the people that the president hired and then the president attacked. Don McGahn, who delivered on all those things you just described, judges, deregulation, kept him out of the criminal side of obstruction. FBI Director Chris Wray, who he's been attacking in an ongoing manner. Jeff Sessions, who is his Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, Steve Bannon, Rex Tillerson, Gary Cohn, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, Omarosa, sorry, Federal Reserve Chairman. I mean, the point is, these are the witnesses to what we're all talking about, because he attacks the people that he hired.
And look, in the case of Rex Tillerson, since he left the State Department, he's largely stayed quiet, and even by this own report, he didn't go there looking to cast aspersions against the president in this meeting. He was answering the questions that were being posed of him about the preparedness, and he answered them frankly, and I think it goes to both things. It goes to this thin-skinnedness that we've seen, that comment that Rex Tillerson made 2 years ago now about him being a bleeping moron, clearly stuck in the president's craw and still enrages him that just the mention of Rex Tillerson's name with anything negative is going to send him on a tweet storm. But it's not just aides talking about the president's lack of preparedness, it's himself. He boasted about it like it was an asset, that I don't need all of these hours of briefings. I don't need to be told over and over again what's happening. I know, that's for other presidents who were as good, usually talking about Barack Obama, and trying to paint this as a strength that he does not actually need to
Obama knew more on an ambient slumber than this guy knows all hopped up. But speaking of tweet storms, we're hoping that the storm knocked out the president's cable.
Hello?
Because Nancy Pelosi just tweeted moments ago. When the extremely stable genius starts acting more presidential, I'll be happy to work with him on infrastructure, trade, and other issues. So Pelosi, again and again and again, getting the last word.
That's more toddler language. I mean, eat your peas and squash. I to talk with you about design.
Yes. You want your 15 minutes of screen time? Now finish your reading.
She trolls him and knows his soft spots. She knows exactly where to punch a knife time and time again. It's hard to imagine there were any Democrats who did not think she was the right choice for Speaker going into this session of Congress. At the very least, she has proven herself to be the perfect foil for this president. She has gone toe-to-toe and has won almost every time.
And it's still going. When we come back, fighting new criticism from Mayor Pete, aimed right at you, Mr. President.
This is a situation ain't the game, not the player. This is a power play. This is a strategic move for her, right? Why is this potentially such a big deal? We have more breaking news. It's Tuesday in Washington. The wall is the sticking point, not border security. I cannot wait to keep talking about that. I gotta tell you, it's fascinating.
Your entire business is profiting off of other people's information. Then your job is to keep that information safe.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith.
Or this John Smith.
or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
As you now have 76,000 points as part of the loyalty program, there's a 5% discount applied to your hotel room. $120 for the rooms.
Oh, 5% off as well as free Wi-Fi. Not bad.
$95 for the night, please, sir.
Wait, what?
If you use Trivago, Trivago will compare hotel prices from hundreds of websites worldwide, so you can often find a better deal for your hotel room. And also free Wi-Fi. Maybe you should try Trivago next time. Hotel Trivago.
Introducing Nutrisystem Spring Sale. Save 50%. Yes, 50%.
Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches in your first month.
I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds with Nutrisystem.
I lost 60 pounds with Nutrisystem.
There's even a money-back guarantee.
Order your 28-day plan right now. Save 50% off every program.
Call or go online right now.
Go online or call 877-984-FIT8 right now to save 50% plus get probiotic shakes free.
I'm mildly obsessed with numbers. So I started with the stats regarding my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Like how Humira has been prescribed to over 300,000 patients. And how many patients saw clear or almost clear skin in just 4 months. The kind of clearance that can last.
Well, I got an L.
Big source of inflammation that contributes to symptoms. Numbers are great.
I got an L on that
Pretty
point.
awesome too. That's what I call